forces don't give the Jedi his power.
The ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
This is where the fun begins.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Hello there.
Hello there.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Let's Talk Star Wars.
My name's Patrick.
And I'm Lex.
And we're here without Chris, so it's a little bit different. A little bit different. But, man, we have a few things to talk about. I think what we wanted to talk about, just to kind of bullet point it, was we want to kind of go over, definitely we're going to be recapping some Andor season 2 finale. I think we want to talk about the pops a little bit more because I think we said they were coming, but we really didn't get into them, so we could kind of take a look at those and discuss those a little bit. And any, things future that we're looking forward to in Star Wars to come. So, without having to, delay it any longer, Lex, tell us all. I'm curious what you thought, because I want to hear your words, because I was an emotional mess at first, even trying to talk about it. It was brutal.
It was very interesting. I think a lot of the things we kind of called, or we talked about them. But I mean, getting to see Bix at the end, like with the kid, and then we saw B2 emo, and we were like, oh, well, there's that. Sorry, we have a special guest today. Because we were like, oh, what happened to him? He just became a farmer, and then of course there he was, and there Bix was, so she didn't die, and they actually have a kid. And I saw a picture circulating, and I think I sent it to you guys, of Cassian, Bix, and then Poe was the kid grown up, essentially. Yeah. And I kind of thought Deidre got exactly what she deserved. She kind of ended up back right where she was putting everyone else. I think that was very much
after what she did at Gorham alone. Right? What she did to the people of Gorham. Yes, she deserved it. Unlike Andor, where you had one way out, she had no way out.
Yeah, she was stuck. So, I don't know. I mean, I thought it ended on a good note. I think they stuck the landing really well. Can't really complain.
Yeah, I agree on everything you said. I thought that the actual end thought was beautiful. To me, I compare that to I did an English paper on it in college. The song Promontory, which is that song in Last of the Mohicans at the end there. And how it has that slow build up to that big rise of just orchestral awesomeness at the end. And I loved how Andor's finale, that's how it was ending. And it was doing that slow build. And then we had that beautiful montage where it was just beautifully done. I was like, this is great. It was just awesome, because Clea could see that her sacrifice and Luthen's sacrifice, it was coming together. As much as that she and Vel kind of had this tit for tat all the time, who was doing what for Luthen. I think at the end of the day, when they saw that it was all for this common good, and they were, as we heard many a time, I have friends in many places or whatever. I have friends everywhere, right? So
something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I have friends everywhere. So I think hearing that and then kind of waking up and soaking it in, having that conversation, and then waking up and seeing, Melshi and the rebellion, working out, training, it all coming together, it was all worth it. And even Bix at the end holding Cassian's child, looking on, I felt that kind of slight little turn at the end. If you watch it, there's a slight little turn where she just gazes out, and I was like, I wonder if that symbolically is kind of like that connection when it hits that he's not coming home. You're hoping, but then there's that. Did I feel disturbed? I don't know. It was just a small little detail that I liked. Keeps you as the viewer wondering. I mean, I'm telling you, I that whole season, I felt that the scenes we got in those last three, even with the flashbacks, I liked it, because it kind of gave more to what Clea and Luthen were about. Really, it wasn't Luthen, because we all had speculation. What was Luthen before or whatnot? So finding out he kind of defected from the Imperial service, much like Han Solo, I felt was kind of interesting, but he did it all for Clea, and watching her, want to stand up, and he's like, can't, but you know what? We will. We're going to lose and lose and lose until we're ready. And like that came to culmination when you saw them. So I liked how they kind of had that piece in there. I thought that was a nice touch. Did we necessarily need it? I don't know. I think it right in there was a little interesting. But I think it helped build that drama as that, because I was on the edge of my seat with Clea as in the nurse outfit going to take his life, because she had to.
Yep.
That was brutal. Like that was just like edge of my seat. That was as intense as her Mon Mothma trying to escape the Senate. I felt season was just unbelievably like tense, gritty. It was just beautiful, and these are again kind of like Rebels characters that aren't in that main line. And true to Rogue One, right? Because it really fits so perfectly with Rogue One, and it makes the sacrifice in Rogue One and what happens in New Hope. It has so much more gravitas now, but it was just everything about it. It was just so well executed. I can't see why people weren't going crazy over it. I definitely think it's getting like lots of really great reviews and Rotten Tomato high scores, like some of the highest. Well deserved. But I think the acting pieces just made you. They did such a great job making you think and love these new characters that, again, we until Rogue One, we didn't know who Andor or any of this was. So to get this whole backstory, we get a lot more behind Mon Mothma, her sacrifices. I thought it was wonderful. And seeing her kind of living like a refugee with the Rebel Alliance, with this, paramilitary rebel group. But from being high, up on high and upper status, within the galaxy as a senator and rich, that was a really cool, I think for me, a really cool montage when you kind of see all the pieces and sacrifice, but like, it's all worth it. And then when we see Star Wars now and we, all that finally comes to play, you're just like the plans that, this part went from, telling to go get them to now R2 finally delivering them. Like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, I think the first episode of the recent 3, it was very long. Like, I mean, I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to show us kind of, the progression of their relationship and her relationship with Luthen. And I think they did a good job. I didn't think it needed to be so drawn out. But what I think it did really well is in that next episode when he tries to take his life and is essentially like kept alive, and then she has to then go and like, essentially kind of kill her father figure. I think, it made me think a little bit more on the first episode and was like, okay, it kind of made that second episode a little bit more emotional. I still don't think we needed like an entire episode of their, the culmination of their relationship. But I do think it added to the emotional like drama that, that sacrifice that she had to make, essentially to kill Luthen or finish him off.
Comment like, too. Am I your daughter now? Like when they had that flashback and she was like trying to pawn that, whatever trinket off, and she negotiated way better than Luthen was, and then he came out and am I your daughter now? And he's like, well, when it works to my advantage, kind of like. So even as a child, she worked in this weird way, but Luthen, I think, realized then like, we're going to start this rebellion. I'm going to help you do it. She made that choice. Apparently that was Naboo, which was cool, but it was neat to see that. But I thought that phrase, when it works for me. And then at that point, like, boom, when it works for me, now she's going to have to take his life so that he doesn't give up, anything about the Rebel Alliance and, make that ultimate. I mean, I felt that watching that, I felt he was at peace, like seeing that kind of like gasp, like it kind of, it was very true to life to me because I had an aunt that I had to be there for when that happened. So it felt very much like that. For me, it sucked me right into that moment. So I came really in touch to the heartstrings and I felt he was at peace. And I thought again, that daughter-like, militant-like person she's been raised. She did it because of the militant, but it broke her heart as her daughter, but she had to do it. And and that was kind of how she's raised, that, when it served him, that she was a daughter. So it was just powerful. It was really, come on, Clea. I don't even think in the first season we would have really cared much until we saw all this going on this season. So blown away.
Yeah, I didn't really think Luthen was gonna like stab himself. Like, I didn't really think that was gonna be his way out. We all knew he was gonna die.
Yeah,
I
was hoping for
kind of. Yeah, I kind of thought it was a little anticlimactic, but I guess I kind of understand, like, in the grand scheme of things, like how he then had to go. I don't think he would have given anything up. I think she was really trying to just like kind of save him from being tortured, because I think they would have tortured the fuck out of him to like get the secrets or attempt to. I don't know that he necessarily would have given them up, but I think she was trying to just
to not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they weren't taking that chance.
But I think she was trying to just do the humane thing and, like, kind of, I need to end this here and now before he has to go through all of that and, like, possibly give us up. Like, I don't know.
100%.
Definitely very sad. There's no more Andor tonight. And I honestly don't even know what is next for Star Wars. Like, in the pipeline, what is the next show that's coming out?
I don't think we have anything until October. We don't get anything until Visions 2 or 3, right? Visions 3.
Yeah, I guess they have.
And then the Ninth Jedi. I think that Ninth Jedi spinoff, I think gets released around the same time. I'm not 100%. So that's kind of what we have to expect.
But like live action wise, I mean, I don't know that we really have. I know they're filming Ahsoka and stuff, and that's in 2026. But like, what is next for 2025?
There's not much. It's going to be
I think we're going to hit a little bit of a dry patch.
A little dry spell. But it gives us time to rewatch, reflect, get pumped for the next, Yeah.
Hello there, Seth.
Hey, Seth. How you doing? Thanks for joining us.
Something is missing. Yep. It was the seriously Star Wars. Mr. Chris. He is missing. He's out of town at the moment, but we miss him, and he will either join us next week or the week after.
Yeah.
But I think it's the week after, because aren't you guys going to Niagara?
We do. I'm getting so excited. Like, I have like stuff put.
I'm so excited, but I forgot.
Checked my passport the other day. Made sure I have my auto book. Downloaded, made sure I had the app so that my ticket stuff for the con's there, my airline stuff's there. So I'm getting ready, getting excited for sure.
Yeah. Are there any other cons that you're looking forward to or planning to go to? Like
Rhode Island Comic-Con is gonna be fire. They haven't even finished announcing, and already, if you're a Star Wars fan, the Rhode Island Comic-Con is going to have a butt ton of guests. We've got like Brandon, who plays Din Djarin in The Mandalorian, is going to be there.
Brendan Wayne.
Yep. And then you're going to have Rosario Dawson's just Saturday. We're going to have Katie Sackhoff. You're gonna have Amon as was it Esmaldi? I'm probably butchering his last
Amon
name. Esfandi. Ezra is gonna be there. The woman that plays Elizabeth is gonna be there. Freddie Prinze Jr. is gonna be there, and that's one I definitely want to get because he tends to cancel, I've heard, and very hard to get nowadays. So I definitely want to do something for that. So I'm gonna have to do a new book, because there's gonna be some peeps that are gonna be at the other one that I want. Like I don't have a Kanan image, so I gotta get something with that. And I'm honest to God, I'm only hoping from now until then that I have enough time that they release a Kanan pop with the mask, or just an updated, cooler one of Kanan to shoot that. That would be cool, but we'll see.
If not, I can always, lend you my Kanan pop.
I have a Kanan pop. I have them.
But we just don't have a new one.
I want a newer one. You know,
Yeah,
call me
I mean,
spoiled.
if it's not Ezra, then I don't know. I mean, I think there's rumors we're gonna get more Kanan pops, but like they're just pumping out quite a lot of Ezras lately. So
I know we still haven't gotten the Ezra with the Sith holocron yet.
yep. So
You know, that's kind of out there. I know you could order it from Ozzy's right now. I just don't feel like paying the high shipping and all that right now. If I was ordering a bunch of things that, like, you know, oh, I know I need this, and this is going to take a while, I'd do it. But like for instance, if they had the Andor chase, like I could just buy that chase, I would have bought both. You know what I mean, and just did it because I do want the chase. That looks cool. But thinking about that, let me pull up on the screen. We'll share and we'll kind of segue into talking about some of those cool Andor season 2 pops. So speaking of, this is what we have here for the Cassian Andor. I think that looks really, really fantastic.
yeah.
Look at that. I mean, that flight suit looks dope. And I honestly, I wish I didn't have my pilot jumpsuit already, my Imperial suit, because I would have gotten that one. That looks so much cooler. Just the accents of the red look just spot on.
Yeah. The
It's
helmet
kind of
looks
almost Inferno Squad looking.
That's what I was gonna say. The helmet looks very similar to the Iden Verso chase, but I know that the body is very much different. And I mean, I think overall it looks really good. I think it's just exciting that we're getting a chase pop finally.
Yeah, we haven't had one of those in a long time.
I think the last ones were like the Bo-Katan and like the Cobb Vanth, like those forever ago.
Yeah, I think you're right. It was the double blaster with the headband, right? And then you had Cobb Vanth, the helmet or no helmet. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
This one here is cool. I think this one here was the Target exclusive. Because I think I pre-ordered this guy already. I just liked how they're redoing the range trooper with that kind of bazooka kind of blaster. That looks really cool.
Yeah, it does. I don't know that we'll see Freddy as Kanan. I honestly don't think that Freddy really wants to continue his role or have any part with Kanan, unfortunately. So I think if they do bring Kanan into live action, let's say season 2 for whatever reason, like a flashback or something, I think they are going to have to recast.
I think so. Because I think he's really kind of done.
Yeah, I think he's really drawn a line in the sand, unfortunately. So. And what is up? How was ICCC? I saw that you went. I hope you had a great time.
Yeah, I'm starting to catch up on some of Tony's vids.
Yeah,
I saw that one where that kid pulled the card, the
With
one-of-one Sebulba. That was pretty cool. And like, how cool is that? Like, Tony ran up to his room, grabbed the pen. The guy's like, "Yeah, I'll sign his 1-1." He was just thought that was really neat because he didn't, 1-of-1 is neat. 1-of-1 when the guy's standing 20 feet away, like the actor's right there. Like, that was pretty cool. And the guy came over, gladly took pictures with the kid and signed it. That was cool. I hope I didn't get to see. Hopefully right after that, so he got that thing right into a slab.
It was a blast. Tony freaked when he saw my Greedo helmet. Yeah, that thing looked crazy, super detailed. And what do we have here? Just wanted to ask a question. I want to buy a NeoPixel lightsaber, but I don't know where to buy from. But I've heard Dark Wolf, and I know you have experience with them. Yeah, I mean, I do have the Golden Harvest, a saber from Dark Wolf. I also have a NeoPixel from Imperial Workshops. So if you're not looking for like a replica and you really just want a NeoPixel that's like kind of functional, I would probably go with Imperial Workshops. They have probably one of the cheapest NeoPixels on the market at the moment, but Dark Wolf is really good. And I know a lot of people like, Theory sabers, but that's really a personal preference. So, but a lot of our friends have codes if you are looking to buy a saber.
Yeah. I know Will from Padawan. Pops has them. Tony and
Ricky.
Ricky.
And sabers is a big one. I think a lot of people have sabers from. Saber Theory is also a very Saber Theory, not Theory Sabers was. They're also a really good company as well.
I've heard of that.
Very, very close naming, so try not to mix it up.
Yeah,
But
no,
I do like.
I have one that they got me for my Masonic lodge. They convert it into a gavel, so it lights up on. It's like a cross guard style that
Mhm.
lights up on both ends for a gavel. It's big. It's awesome. I can't. I can't. I think it might be like S Sabers. I can't remember who they got it from, but it's nice. It's nice, and it's what I like about it's got heft, and it's not as thick as for the grip of it, that
Yeah.
like your Savi ones. And I think a lot of people kind of tend to don't like that. So if you don't like that, there are a lot of different options out there. Like
I
you
think
do more reviews than I do on those.
the Savi ones are very like thick, so I don't know that they're super great for like dueling or spinning or any of that kind of stuff. They are great for display and like look and things like that.
Yeah.
But if you're going for like more functionality and NeoPixels, there's a ton of companies out there, and a lot of them are very similar in the products that they have to offer. So
Yeah, and I think they usually have like deals all the time because you can get them. Sometimes they'll do like a blind bag kind of thing for like $100, which is
yeah,
not
buy
bad.
one get one.
Yeah, my friend picked up one, and it's one that it has no sound. It's just it lights up, but it was just one that it's literally made for like training and beating up and playing with. So it has that weight. So if you're trying to learn your spins and stuff like that, you don't feel bad dropping it or anything because you got it on the cheap, but it has all the the features, just to kind of get you going, which I thought was pretty nice.
Yeah, the second Andor wave is cold. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And
This
the
one,
USO is pretty cool.
I'm playing around with an image right now with this guy. I don't have it, but I was just taking this image here and messing with it. Dude, I love this. Like the fact that he's running, that's awesome. That is awesome. And now we know where this was. This is the Gorham massacre, So,
Yeah.
pretty cool. Or it could have been if you're from that scene where he's going after the guys to save Andor and Melshi and Clea. It could be what you're seeing if you're that guy on that bridge where he just goes, it just tosses them.
That is true. I wonder if you can almost do like an image with like him, but like then like a ship kind of just like pushing him into a wall.
Right? Oh my gosh, dude. He was awesome in this one. Now, Dedra, tragic character. It would be funny to have a chase of her in the prison outfit.
Prison outfit. I mean, listen, it's not too late. I think I don't know. They may or may not.
Could have some fun with it. Have some fun. But
It's
I
very
love it.
plain.
I love the getting it.
Like I feel like it's just her with like kind of like that Grand Admiral Thrawn pose, hands behind the back, and then just like a lady head.
You know what? But when I see it, I feel that represents her. Like when I see this, that's the character. Like very stiff and rigid. She was kind of like that. She, unfortunately, to her own demise. That's the sad tragedy of this character, being raised like as an imperial like orphan, right? And just always being inbred that no matter what she did, she still failed. It's brutal.
I think no matter how much she sacrificed, she still ended up in jail. Like, I mean, you lost your man. I don't even know, like, if it makes me rethink, like, were they even really a thing, or was she really just using him the whole time? I think he liked her. Like, I think Cyril was into her and like really thought they had something. But now I'm starting to think, because initially I was like, oh, they're a couple. But then as more information came out and kind of just based off the way he reacted, I almost kind of feel like maybe she was just using him. Like he was truly a pawn.
I was going to say, have you watched any of the extras yet? The Andor Declassifieds?
No, not really.
If you just go on your Disney, I'm sure they're on YouTube already, but if you go into Disney Plus and you go to Andor season 2, go to extras, they're all there, and it breaks it down by each week basically in the 3 segment. But in one of them, Dedra talks about that. I think in one of the last 2 or something, the actress talks about that decision, that when she was looking into women that were psychopaths, they have been charged with killing. They usually aren't the ones that actually do the murder themselves. they usually recruit some poor sucker to do it for them. So I think what you're saying is kind of what the actress was portraying it, and kind of like you as a viewer come to that if you see certain hints and nodes of it. And I think you're hitting what she was trying to portray is that there might have been something, but not much, because she's using that to get to her ultimate goal. And that's crazy.
Yeah, pretty much, Connor. Deidre, like the concept of a relationship, but doesn't possess the emotional faculties.
Yeah. Necessary to maintain such a relationship.
Yeah,
Cyril.
I think Cyril really was into her, and kind of thought there was going to be more, and I think she kind of just used him.
She used him, and I think, dude, he knew it at the end. Like that's what
he did.
Like, that love and rage, like, oh, I'm gonna strangle you. Like, are you kidding? How long? Like, I mean,
like all along you've been using me. Like,
dude, it was brutal. I just had to find out from the other guys that you really are with mining gear. Like, what? You didn't even wait. Like, oh man, he felt pretty screwed over. So I thought that was interesting.
Hey Ken, yeah, I mean, it was one of the ones that I had on my list to try to attend, but just with everything and like post getting back from Celebration, I wasn't going to be able to swing it. I did make plans though for Rebel Scum Con, and I got someone to switch with me, so now I just got to buy my plane ticket and I will be on my way to Texas in August.
Nice. Very nice.
And then Flashpoint says, I've been thinking of getting Star Wars Funko. Which ones do you recommend? Well, what are you into? Because I mean, there's quite a vast, selection of Star Wars Funko Pops. So I mean, I think it really depends on what your favorite show is. Possibly, maybe if you even have a favorite character, and then start with those. And then you've probably gone down the rabbit hole that the rest of us have also gone down. So there's that.
Yes. Especially if your favorite character, you'll have a whole shrine just of that character,
Yeah, or even like Clone Wars. Like if that's your show, there's a ton of Clone Wars pops. If you like Anakin, there's a ton of Anakin pops. Like I would start with one of those two, and then then you're
collecting interest. Like what is the nostalgia that makes you love Star Wars, or a certain character, or a certain moment? Because they make the movie moments too. Like, is there one of those that might be captured as a Funko Pop that might interest you? Those I would think are good places to start.
See you there. Yeah.
But yeah, they came out with another Saw Gerrera one too, Lex. This one looks pretty cool.
I just am not a Saw Gerrera fan by any means.
See, I like him.
He's just so weird. Like in that whole scene where he's like, breathe it in. And I'm like, I don't understand what is going on right now. He's like, take off your mask and breathe it in. And I was
I figured he was going crazy when we see him in Rogue One, right? Everyone kind of had to talk like there's this rumor about Saw Gerrera is kind of on the edge. He was, very radical. And I think when we got to see him coming up through the Clone Wars series, we kind of get bits and pieces, and we got a little more of that more partisan part of him when we saw him in Rebels, right? So we got to kind of grow up with him through the animation to kind of get more of that backstory. And I think it really was the Rebels one where we see him. It was Rebels, right? Where he was breathing in the toxins that was on Geonosis or whatever. So I think from that point, he kind of got a little crazier.
Yeah, he's just very out there. I don't have any Saw Gerrera pops, and I don't think I'll be getting any. I don't know. He's such an interesting. I mean, I like the actor, but I just think as a character, it's just very weird. Like, I don't know. I'm not a fan. It is what it is, kind of thing.
Where's I know there's one more.
You're into prequels, Clone Wars, and the original trilogy. Well, there is quite a lot to choose from. Just out of those three. So, I mean, I would just look at, type in like Star Wars prequel pops, or type in Star Wars Clone Wars pops, and, just look at the list and see if anything really stands out to you and go from there.
Yeah. If you're an OG trilogy, I think right now you're at the end of a wave that had been out for some time. So you might start seeing some reduced pricing in them, but You probably can get like the Luke looking out amongst the binary suns from A New Hope. I have the with the training remote and the blaster shield helmet. That's from and they have the R2 projecting the Princess Leia. And those are somewhat attainable, like out in the public common. They're not like an exclusive. So if you're in the OG trilogy, those are out now, very easy to find. Start with that. Start with that. There could be one of those that I really like the training remote one. I think that one really kicks ass. And they also they came out with a newer version of Luke in Red 5 and Red 5 with his X-Wing outfit. Way better sculpt than the original. So that's the perfect Luke to get in the X-Wing outfit if you're just starting. Perfect.
Mm-hmm. And I think Target still, at least my Target, still has like a ton of the 20th anniversary. Nope. Was it 20 or 25th of the Phantom Menace? I think it's 25th of the Phantom Menace. And then they also have a ton of like the leftovers from like the 40th of Return of the Jedi. Like a bunch of those pops are on clearance right now. So you didn't pick up those waves. They're still out there.
Yeah.
Connor says, I love the nuance of the show. If Deidre told Cyril about the plan, he would have sabotaged the whole Imperial. I agree with that, because I kind of started to think that Cyril was kind of starting to kind of side with the rebels more than he was with the Empire. And that's why I kind of feel like maybe it was so dramatic when he did find out that like not only was like the love of his life kind of backstabbing him in the back essentially, but like also the people he had cared for and the planet that he had been on or sent to was also being sabotaged. So like, I don't know.
I think he was when it came down to it, he was kind of embarrassed getting called out by the designer, right? One of the leaders of the Gorman resistance, right? Called him out. And like, he throws him to the ground like he's trash, right? And look who gets the last laugh, right? Who's got the drop on you?
Yeah, that was unexpected. I didn't really think he was gonna die, but I saw when he ran out there and stuff, I was like, yeah, he's done. Like I didn't think they were gonna kill him off, but I was like, as soon as he ran out there, I was like, that's it. Like he's that's it.
Yeah, I didn't think he was gonna make it out of that episode. I figured that was gonna be somehow his demise was gonna happen, and it was just really telling because he got the drop on Andor, and that whole
sure did.
Who are you? Like that really messed with him, and you kind of saw that in that brief moment. That again, beautiful acting because no words, right? All facial gesture and just it was beautifully done. Like, who are you? And he just kind of drops his guard and like, are you kidding me? Like, I've been searching for you for 4 years, man. Like, what? And then because he's not even thinking, boom, right to the side of the head, like, and as the garment guy and leader of the Gorman rebellion. So I thought that was really cool. Really, really well done. Deidre was correct when she said if it wasn't her dealing with Gorman, then someone else would be. It was like she wanted to run the Gorman. She was forced into a Krennic and Prendergast. Yeah. Yeah, I think she enjoyed it a little bit. I think when it came to really kind of like she knew it was a possibility and probably could entertain things to get, looking good and trying to, again, for her, still trying to find access. That's how I looked at it. Like her taking the Gorman thing, great, because maybe someone there could lead her to act. Like for her whole thing was she just had a laser focus, to try to get him. That was her reality and focus, right? We talk like Will the Force has been doing his whole new kind of revamp, your focus determines reality. That was her reality and focus with that. And God, she didn't even see it coming in the end. So you know what I really like too? When he presses his little finger at her head. Like, oh, that was awesome. It was awesome. It was just those little things about that show was just well done because we don't get to see those. I don't think you get to see that kind of caliber of performance in most Star Wars because of the way it is. So I really enjoyed this. Again, another pop of Krennic. We have another awesome baddie. we didn't get too much of him. I don't really even recall
Did
even
we
seeing
see
the
him
black.
with a gun? Yeah.
No, you know what? I would have rather have had him with the oh, I have one. I can't remember
Like
what he called
the
it.
satchel
The
kind of
sash
thing.
that goes across.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have
Yeah.
been cool. I
That
think
would
they
have
should have done that.
But it also makes me wonder, like, what other pops could they do? Like, now that the show's over, like, I think maybe a Bail Organa would be cool, or like a Mom Mothma. Like, I think there's so many other characters to do now, aside from the ones that we've gotten. But who knows?
Right? I don't know. I think Bail Organa would have been nice to have gotten, but like imagine finally getting and Jimmy Smith gets robbed. He doesn't get it, the other guy. So I don't know. I don't know. Other ones I'd like to see. I mean, if I got a Melshi like character, it doesn't have to be necessarily Melshi, but like a cool maybe rebel where he's got the yellow on the patch, of the shoulder, and it's kind of weathered, and he's got a blaster, and he's running like something running and training. We had that cool creature that we got to see in Rogue One, kind of running. I don't know, little things that they really didn't have anything to do with it, but it would be cool. We didn't get a Bix. Like,
No, I don't like a Bix.
I think we're going to
Bix with the baby? Or Bix with, like, the hood? I don't know.
Honestly, why couldn't we have had that out right before Mother's Day? Like, come on.
I think it would have been too spoilerish with what they were trying to do.
Oh, true. It's too
You're
much.
trying to do that suspense, but like at the same time, Funko's been notorious for kind of announcing things prior to shows coming out. Sometimes they're so on top of it, and sometimes they're not on top of it.
Yeah, they're a little bit lagging. Yeah. But I don't know. I try to think of other, like Clea would be one, Luth, and I think if you saw what I recently shared some of the posts from the Funko Concepts where he was doing these great Andor season 2 pop concepts, absolutely phenomenal. Like his Luthen, as soon as you saw it, you're like Luthen. Unlike the Luthen that they actually made, because I photographed it and I haven't even posted it because it's like, would you even know who he is?
Yeah, I mean, just like that newer Luthen that we got, but I believe he was from season 1, if anything. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, this guy shared some pretty cool ones. I'll pull them up.
Yeah, I was joking, and he said if he would do a chase of Clea as a nurse, because I thought that would be cool.
That would be cool. But yeah, we got Sorrel. Well, these are
those the ones they made up?
I think these are like random.
Those are different.
There's this one that was pretty.
Yeah, these are fire.
Like Mon Mothma is very pretty. Oh, there's our prisoner.
Yep, but I want a Mon Mothma. I
think that's such a good outfit. I would like that, or even just like an OG,
or that blue, or the blue that she wore on the Senate giving that speech.
Yeah,
why can't we have that? That
was
was like epic
in the Senate, like pod, like as a show moment or whatever.
Yeah,
I feel like
I have a pod.
Yeah,
that
but
I had
made. Has one.
I had to get it 3D printed just for that Padme, Senator Padme one. That's the only way she looks cool displayed is in that. But that I'd swap her out and put Mon Mothma there. And Cyril, like at least I know this one from watching, but I wouldn't really know. Predagast looks great. Clea, perfect with that blue kind of creepy outfit and the hair like that. Perfect. Even Luthen, like that hand gesture,
Yeah, that I can feel like I can tell that that's Luthen. The other one where he's got like the hood up, I'm like, I don't know who that is. Like, this one.
No,
this one is like
a photo of it. I took a photo and didn't even publish it. I just kind of throw it out there one day as like honestly, it'll be like cannon fodder to me because I tried to work it and make it look cool, and I think I made for the subject matter, I made it look cool. But I'm just, it's kind of like, because again, you can't identify him. It's not like it's not like he has a silhouette or like Luthen there. That just gesture that was very much of character, and you pick up on that.
Oh, I thought Luthen was there.
Those are fire.
Oh, here's Luthen. Yeah, I mean, I think he looks really good there. The one that we got, I'm like, meh.
Yeah, this would have been cooler. This would have been cooler.
That one looks really good. Or, you know what? They can give us like a disco Mon Mothma. Like with her like dancing.
Dancing? Yeah. That was, but that was a great scene too. Again, great scene. You know, it had that double play like to the crowd. She's dancing and celebrating, but really, as we all know, she is fretting because she knows her childhood friend's about to get killed. You know, she's working on the rebellion. There's things going, amidst that no one knows, and it's pretty crazy. It was well done. Again, great acting. The stories that, we're now talking about was so well done by this cast. This is excellent. But yeah, I like this. It's beautiful, and I'd love to have her for that Senate speech one for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get something like that from remember they did the ladies, the powers of the galaxy, the women.
Oh, yeah.
The Amazon, because that's where we got that awesome Ahsoka was part of that wave, right? So maybe we can get something like that late again, and we can get some of these newer female characters, because my God, there are some really great, strong female characters in that series, good and bad. Just well done.
Was this the one that's a different character?
No, that was Admiral Raddus that we saw, not Akbar.
Initially, I was like, that can't be Akbar. Like, he's so dark. Like, he was
it was
color,
Raddus.
and I was like, that can't be. But I also was half listening. I need to rewatch it because I was half listening every time I was watching it. So
yeah, I've watched it 4 times already. One time right into Rogue One.
Oh, that would be
cool. That is cool.
A lot. That's what, 3, 6, 9, 12 hours of just Andor, just about. And then I don't even know. I don't even remember how long Rogue One was. It's like a full day of binging.
Yeah, it is. It's hours. A lot. It's a lot. But it's nice having it on Disney Plus, be able to skip. I just want to see the scene, because I can't even tell you how many times I've watched the final, montage there, because I just love it. I'm probably gonna watch it after this. Honest to God, I will. I know I will. Do I have it queued up on my phone? I've been playing it just because I love that build up. It to me, it is up there now. Like I said, with that last Mohicans, that sound promontory that we see at the end of that, it has that same dramatic build. It's beautifully done, and I think it deserves to be recognized as one of those great pieces of music from cinema for sure, because it's great. Really tied everything together. I thought you'll see when you watch the Declassifieds. If any of you folks watching haven't watched them, check it out. If you go to Disney Plus, you might even see some on YouTube already. People probably shared them up there. But they're the Andor Declassifieds, and they go through each of the weeks of this Andor season 2, and it's really cool. They talk all the different ideas and characters and thoughts that they had. Just everything, the details of set design, really fun. So check it out. You'll definitely get more out of it. But
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I tonight, I think the one thing my wife is most excited for is when I wrap up, where she wants to do the next episode of The Handmaid's Tale.
Ooh.
And it's going to be brutal. I've already heard some leaks. I'm like, oh man, I already know one, and she knows it too, because she's like, do you know? And I'm like, she's like,
do you want the real answer, or do you want me to tell you what you want to hear?
Like, I kind of know, I'm like, all right. Then we start talking. It's like, okay, I don't want to know anymore. I don't even want to know anymore. Let's stop talking. Because I want to watch it. Because it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be good.
Death Star equals Moon Matrix. Well, yeah, I guess so. But I mean, I think that pretty much will do it for today's episode. What do you think?
Yeah. I think so. I mean, I don't think there's much more to discuss this week. I mean, unfortunately, our counterpart wasn't here. But we'll see. Like I said, I'll see him soon. I'll be in Canada soon enough, putting my passport to use, going to Niagara Falls Comic Con. So that'll be exciting. You know what I'm most excited for? Warwick. And then I'm going to see, what's his name? Daniel Logan. But I think I'm as much excited to meet K Dog and Fish in person. Like I think I'm as excited. Yeah, because I like those guys. They kind of remind us like of us. They're cool guys. We've had Fish on a few times. And I just always thought K Dog was funny as hell. So I'm gonna be really excited to finally see those guys. And who knows, maybe
set up like an official meetup with them, or you're just gonna go to like the shop?
Dude, I've already talked to them like through like the their channel, like, hey, dude, I'm coming. You guys gonna, yeah, dude, we're definitely hanging out. I'm gonna meet up with you guys. All right. So I definitely am excited to meet up with them. Would love to go out for beers or something with them if they've got time. That'd be super cool. But I might just it's be the first time Christopher and I get to meet in person. So that's gonna be a kind of historic monumental moment. That'll be fun. So it's gonna be fun. We'll probably film some of the con BS. Maybe I want to do it. I don't know if Christopher will, but I sure want to do it. I want to go and get Tristan from Top Pops to get on a video with us, and I'm gonna make it happen. I'm just gonna walk up. We're gonna start filming. We're gonna just like, hey, guess what? You're in a video, and we're gonna start talking, Tristan, and get ready. Come on. We're gonna do it.
Good luck.
We're going to do it.
Yeah, may the force be with you.
Let's see. Come on.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, maybe he's a little bit different in person, but I know we've reached out to him a few times on Instagram and stuff, and I know he's a busy guy. He's big when it comes to pop, so
I'm sure.
Have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to that Fun Days adventure thing or whatnot that Funko's having. Dude, did you see the ticket prices? About $175.
No, not happening.
for a 30-minute, you get. I think you get the box, the Fun Day box of pops, and then you have some kind of adventure. You might get exclusives or something. I don't know. For 30 minutes, you have that fun fair. I don't know. You can do it.
Do it. Yeah, I don't know. Probably not. I mean, the Fun Days seems very like Freddy Funko based, and sometimes it seems like they do some like Star Wars collabs, but I don't really care too much for the Freddy Funko like line.
I'm not a Freddy
Funko. That money is not really that worth it to me. I know a lot of people are into the Freddy Funkos and like that and like the Star Wars kind of collab that they do, but
yes,
I'm in it for the actual characters. Like I want to see Hayden. I want to see Freddy.
I'd rather Conan version of a Star Wars pop than a Freddy. That's just me personally. I know people are like, what? Because they're huge Freddy pop. I have one. I have the one that I won from the photo for Christmas. I got the Freddy social media exclusive they sent me. But that's the only Freddy I have. So I'm happy with that. When I did my pop myself, I have a little Freddy in my hand. Freddy Funko Pop in my hand. Yeah.
It's a Funko Pop. So I get it. I mean, he is the face of the brand that, we love. But
you know what I tried to do that you'll find funny is, so when I did it, I did one of the little pets. I did my cat Emma, the calico, and I tried to put her in the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah,
it almost works if you modify that clear plastic to fit in the shape like the square, because it's like round as opposed to. But I'm like, oh. And I almost want to just get an X-Acto knife and score it and slowly kind of cut it and see if I can do that piece so it's like that, so that I could put her in the Millennium Falcon, the little bitty pop Falcon.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well try it out. You're pretty crafty when it comes
to have to craft. I'm surprised they didn't do that. All right, because think about how much more fun you'd have with your bitty pops if you could do that with your little sidekick pets. That would be fun. So. Funk, if you're out there, that's something that you should think about when you're doing the bases. Make it more like a bitty base so they can be more interactive with those things. It'd be kind of cool.
Listen up, Funko. But
all right.
Well, aside from Niagara, what else do you have planned?
I don't think much else. I've got some shooting I'm going to be doing. I haven't There's some videos I put off. I've got to do some unboxings. I've put off for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So I've got that to do. I've just been busy with other things, and like literally when I get back from Niagara, I got a date night with the wife. We're going to see the Avett Brothers live here in Providence, so that's going to be really cool. And then the very next night is my daughter's going to prom. So woo, it's crazy. I got to take it's so crazy. I got to take a half day because this guy's got to drive my daughter to get her hair done, pick from the hair dye, pick her up. And I think that's it for a little bit. And then I'm taking her and her girlfriends to get portraits at Roger Williams Park. And then we're going to probably get him an Uber Black because I tried to call my buddy who used to drive limos and stuff and with this company. And when we start laughing because they are out of fashion now. I don't know if you know that. Long limousines like that. Yeah, they're like a thing of the past. Like nobody really cares. They'd rather have like the Escalade or something like that. I'm like, really?
Yeah, that is
Oh, no.
the new style.
no.
A lot of people, I mean, I hate to say it, but like my prom was like 5 years ago now, and that was like a big thing. Is people would go and like rent, have their parents like rent cars that we could like drive and take to prom and stuff, and that was like a big deal. Very few like limos, but everyone popped out with like the nicer cars that you like rented for the night and stuff like that. But I like totally just aged myself. I can't believe it's been 5 years, almost 6 years, I guess. Yeah, 2019.
She's gonna have a good time. I figure, hey, girlfriends, and you want to do something, we'll do Uber Black. We'll get you something really cool. You don't have to worry. Go wherever you want that night. You know what I mean? You're good. You're gonna be at prom. You want to go out afterward. You want to get something to eat. Whatever. It's good. You're golden. I'd rather the girls just have a good time because instead of going to her junior prom, which is literally the same weekend as like next weekend, it would have been next weekend when I wasn't here. I would have missed all this. Nah, I'm actually excited for her. But no, I would have missed all the chaos, but I would have missed seeing her. Prom's a big one. So she's not going to her junior prom. Instead, she's going with her girlfriend. A bunch of the girls are going to go to the senior prom because a couple of them are seniors, and they're just going to bring their friends as juniors as their dates and just go as a gaggle of girls.
Senior prom's probably better, probably a little cooler. So
I think so. I think the theme's going to be better because I think one was going to be like very ball gown, and then I think it was masquerade or something like that. But the senior prom is like red carpet events, and my daughter's dress is like, trust me, it costs. So I know it, and all I remember is hearing other women talk about the experience because they went to Stefan's, it's the big place where you get the dresses and they tear them and they couture them and all that. They were there, and she was looking at like all the other girls, the big ball gowns, and then she saw this one, and because she's very pale and it's a very beautiful blue, navy blue, kind of blue jewel tone, it just pops, and like she just looks great in it. And I remember hearing the other women talk like, you should have seen as soon as she put it on, Stefan was like, that's the dress. Like they're all like, that was it. Like as soon as she put it on, like put all the others away, just take them now. That was it. And like, yeah, and it was unlike, and that was the thing, it was unlike all the others. It was very slim and slender. So they're like, no, that's the dress. And like I think Amy said when they said that, she could see other moms are like, if she kind of looking like if she puts that back on the rack, like forget it, all bets are off, it's ours. So Amy said she like as soon as like she kind of was taking it off, she put it in the bag and held on to that one and was like, take these two, try this one on, I'm holding on to this. But they had a good experience, which is good. So, and that, and now we get to just be there for all the fun, take some photos, let them be kids. I know they'll never be as crazy as when I went to prom. So my daughter's an angel compared to me, so I don't have to worry about anything. But anyway, what do you got coming up, Lex? Anything cool?
I finally finished my day 2 recap for Celebration, so I'm gonna post that. I need to work on day 3 and then my haul video. I also finished the cosplay like montage. So slowly getting it out. I've just been so busy with work. It's like I know we're like a month out, but I guess better late than never. And then, kind of just going with the flow and
Yeah.
trying to line up some new guests for Beyond Tatooine and stuff like that. So trying to stay busy. I mean, I want to put content out, but when I get home, I'm just so tired. And now I have the boys and they're keeping me so busy. So it's tough being a mom,
Oh, but isn't it worth it though? Aren't they just the dog?
It is. And I'm glad that they have each other. Like when I'm away at work, like they like to play together, they sleep together, like they love too. Like, they're cuddle bugs.
I'm glad that they are like that because I have two that weren't from the same litter or anything. And like so we had time with just one, and then the introduction of the other one, she never really liked her. They get along, and that's about it. Like, but the younger one always wanted to play, and I was like, I'm not playing with you.
It's like, actually, you're the younger child. Calm down.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a shame. And then we did have another kitten here. We've had other kittens from house sitting and things like that and whatnot. And it's funny because even the sweet one, the little one, she's a little turd to the other cat that we bring in for the weekend or a couple days. I was like, hey, you're supposed to be the sweet one. Why are you being an ass? That's the battle axe's job to be like that. You're supposed to be the sweet one, and like maybe you might be more motherly towards this cat than the other one would be. But it's fun. I don't know. They are their own. It's and you'll see each cat has their own way of loving on you, their own way of wanting to snuggle and get pets. And this one likes this chin pets more than mine. This one likes the ear. Bella likes to, put her butt up there and you get right up at the back of her butt by her tail. She loves that. She goes crazy. The other one, Emma, my calico, will flop on her side. You have to cow tip her, and she likes to get her belly pet.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. They're very, very unique. I mean, this is them right now. They're like off to the side.
Oh, look at them. Adorable.
Put a little Star Wars blanket, of course. Got to stay in theme, but they just love, laying with each other, and it's cute.
Now, have you gotten them collars at all, or no?
I ordered them. One of them had a collar, and the other one didn't. But I did order them collars.
Make sure you get
I got their like little name.
The ones that are snag free that'll snap off.
Yeah.
The only reason when our little one, she's a little runt like of a Maine Coon. Like she's really tiny. She's not as big, but she's got the big paws and everything. When she would have it, she'd get caught on stuff all the time. And it was like, the catch and release kind of thing, break free. Great. Because she got caught a couple times where, like, had no one been there, the poor cat would have been in duress for hours, So just be careful on them, because I know I ordered another one time and it wasn't one of those snap off ones. And immediately I was like, it looked cute. Like everyone loved it. Looked great on Amazon. But like, now I'm like, if the other one I had to worry about, and this one doesn't have like the break free thing, like, yeah, it's cute. It's got the little bell for Bella. And she would jingle when she walked. Like, I just didn't trust that.
Yeah, my other cat, we have one of those, and I kind of just ordered, like, our family cat has one like that, so I kind of just ordered like a smaller version from that same company. So I'm just waiting for it to come in because,
Excellent.
It wasn't through Amazon, so it's not like next day delivery, but it's okay.
True.
Everything works out for a reason. But I think that will pretty much wrap up today's episode of Let's Talk Star Wars.
And cats.
Yeah, Star Wars and cats.
Cats.
All the cat food. So
that's what I call it.
Yeah, going out to the store to get some cat food, aka.
That's right. Luthen and I have friends everywhere, and I've got cat food.
That is true. But we'll see everybody in the next episode, or really next Tuesday. So bye, guys.
Bye.
The Force is what gives the Jedi his power.
The ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
This is where the fun begins.
This is the way.
This is the way.